All right, our next storyteller, this is 8 years in the making because I have been needling this woman for the better part of a decade to get on this damn stage. And it is finally happening tonight. We have Fran Ferlazzo. That's right. Otherwise known as Frantastic, is a Mary Kay beauty consultant, nana to 1 grandson and 2 granddaughters, devoted wife of 24 years. She has lived many lives, some glamorous, some gritty, all of them unapologetically hers. Tonight, she's here to take you on a journey you will not soon forget. Please welcome, finally, to the stage, Frantastic.
No, you're working the door, Jenna. I forgive you. Awesome. So my name is Fran, and I'm a sexual abuse survivor. But that's for another story for another time. Today I'm known in Tucson as Frantastic. I'm a Mary Kay consultant, a grandmother, a devoted wife of 24 years. I want you to sit with that image for a minute. Really picture it. Pink blazer, pearls, somebody's nana. Good. Now, I've had over 100 sexual partners, a crack addiction, a stripper alter ego named Lupita the Cleaning Lady. I wasn't a deviant. I was a woman who loved sex, who loved freedom, and had absolutely no map for where she was going. And I sell skincare now. Let me explain. During my time in the United States Air Force in the early 80s, I became pregnant. My story starts here because this kind of gives you my state of mind in my 20s. When I got to my duty station at RAF Alconbury in England, I was outnumbered 10 to 1. 10 men to every 1 woman on the base. A horny young woman's absolute dream. But I digress. Needless to say, I was very much in 7th heaven. You can say about 100 guys in 15 months. And here's the fun part. The doctors told me I would never get pregnant, so they wouldn't put me on birth control. Spoiler alert! They were wrong. I ended up pregnant, discharged from the Air Force, and sleeping on a fold-out bed in my parents' den. Not exactly a thriving environment to raise a child. So I decided to do the hardest decision in my life, and I gave my son up for adoption to give him the life that I wasn't able to. I want to just sit with that for a second because it doesn't get any easier talking about it and saying it out loud today, even decades later. What does get easier is knowing that I made the right call. We reconnected in 2011. He's single, living a good life with his adoptive parents in Phoenix. And every Mother's Day and birthday, I get a text message from him. And I gotta say, I ugly cry every time. Then postpartum depression sets in. You know, before that was a thing in the 80s. I didn't even know I realized I had a drinking problem until one Tuesday night, I got sick and couldn't drag myself to Cowboys. Cowboys had 2-for-1 drink specials, male strippers, and then the meat market opened at 9 p.m. All the men would come flooding into a room full of very randy ladies. And when missing that was finally makes me examine my life choices, it's my sign. In 1983, I moved in with a friend of mine into her studio apartment just to get out of my parents' house. I had lost my job at Marana Public Schools. I was desperately trying to find anything that wasn't going back to McDonald's again. The job market was brutal. I really wanted to work in a restaurant, but they weren't hiring me because I didn't have any waitressing experience. So this is how I ended up in the first of 6 topless bars in Tucson that I worked at from 83 to 86. Go ahead, clutch your pearls, I'll wait. My first stop was Bourbon Street Circus on Oracle. You may know that, just south of Grant. It's now called Curbs Cabaret. I started as a cocktail waitress. So picture me, 115 pounds, so more than half my current size, wearing pantyhose, a thong, and a top that barely covered my nipples. There really wasn't much left to the imagination. While other girls were bumping and grinding from table to table and on stage, I was out there just slinging drinks, trying to make enough money and tips to survive. Then one day, about 2 to 3 months in, a guy comes up to me and he offers me $100 to show him my boobs. I was like, really? These old things? But I needed the money. So 3 tequila shots later, otherwise known as liquid courage, I ended up on stage with $100 in my thong. And just like that, I had a new career. With that career came a tour of the most finest establishments in Tucson. From Bourbon Street Circus, I made my way to TD's Show Club, both the west location, in case you want to know, it's under construction. The east location is long gone. Then came the Whistle Stop, also gone. Each club had its own personality. TD's was louder, rowdier, more of a party crowd. The Whistle Stop was more gritty, the kind of place where you learn fast to keep your wits about you. I collected stages the way women collect shoes. And each one teaching me something about performing that I didn't know, and about reading a room, about what it meant to be the one in control, even when it didn't look that way from the outside. I also made enough money to get my own place over on golf links near the base, but the drinking got quieter as something else moved in to take its place. I found the guts to go on stage without the liquid courage, but I found other ways to self-soothe. Smoking pot became my favorite pastime. Then came the cocaine. Yes, women in the adult entertainment industry tend to gravitate towards substances to be able to get through the night, to mindlessly move through a room full of drunk, rowdy men and feel nothing, or feel everything, depending on the night. That led me to crack. You take the cocaine, you put it in a spoon, you light it on fire with 151 rum. It makes a little rock, you put it in a glass pipe and you smoke it. Yeah, that's really great stuff, right? My girlfriend Coco and I would get an 8-ball on a Friday night just to make it through the weekend. This became my 3-year-long addiction. And I want to be real with you about this because it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't a phase. It was survival mode in a costume. Thanks to some really good friends, I got clean in 1986. Wait, there's more. Now in 1992, I was introduced to meth. So this is a story for another performance, and I promise you Mel will drag me back up on stage, kicking and screaming, but tonight we're gonna stay in the 80s. Eventually, I landed at my 2 longest homes, 10's Show Club and the Pirate's Den, known to locals as the Boat, now Raiders Reef. The boat is where I stayed the longest and where something truly magical happened. My alter ego was born. Her name, Lupita the Cleaning Lady. Now I have to tell you about my hair because I had a curly perm at the time, what I thought was a throwback to a Jerry curl, and what was actually a very enthusiastic tribute to Prince after Purple Rain came out. Same cut, same commitment, zero of the cool. And every day I would show up at work with my hair wrapped up in a bandana. And this particular day I was wearing my Air Force issued blue raincoat. I arrived at work and with a mop and broom in my hand because my job was to actually go on stage and clean the stage before we opened. And the DJ, Seth, leans into the microphone in his best Jerry Lewis voice and says, "Hey, cleaning lady." And something clicked. I immediately started talking in an accent just for fun. And Seth goes, "What if you did this as an act?" So I did. Picture Lupita, hair under a bandana, Air Force raincoat, pushing a mop across stage covered in glitter and God knows what else. Speaking in her best telenovela accent to a room full of drunk men who absolutely lost their minds over a cleaning lady with a mop. She was a hit. I was shocked. Turns out men will tip anything if you make them laugh. Lupita lasted until 1986, when my dancing career came to an end in the most spectacular fashion possible. I got pregnant again. This time it was an ectopic pregnancy, which landed me in emergency surgery, followed by a severe infection, which landed me in the hospital for 5 more days. When I finally tried to go back to work at 10's Show Club, I got T-boned on the way there, totaled my car. Then I came down with chickenpox and pneumonia. All of this March to May. The universe was definitely sending me a message. I got it. What came next wasn't pretty or linear. It was slow and unglamorous and required me to rebuild a foundation of approximately nothing. I pieced together jobs, relationships, and some version of myself that could function in daylight. Eventually, I found Mary Kay. And what I discovered there surprised me. It wasn't about lipstick. It was about women sitting across from each other, actually seeing each other. That was something I understood deeply, even if I learned it in the most unconventional classroom imaginable. Frantastic wasn't born in a boardroom. She was built on every stage, every bad decision, and every morning I chose to get back up. That girl, the one grinding her way through 6 bars, chasing liquid courage and dollar bills, trying to feel something, she was always searching for the same thing I help women find today, and that's confidence in their own skin. Oh. Man. Turns out you don't need a thong and a spotlight for that. But if you'd like to try, I know a few places hiring, and I'd lend you the outfits. But what can I say? They didn't survive the journey. I found my confidence eventually, found Tony too. And somehow that man has been with me for 28 years. Knowing full well where I come from. Either he's a saint or he just really likes a woman who knows how to work a room. Probably both. Hold on, not done yet. So, the next time you see someone's Nana sporting a pink blazer, remember, You have absolutely no idea what she has survived to get there. Neither does she until she's standing on the other side of it. My name is Fran, otherwise known as Frantastic, and that is why.